Hello and welcome to Double Hit. I'm Harry.
And I'm Rob.
And we give a fan's perspective on all things Scottish rugby that is completely unfiltered. So if you like this content, give us a like and subscribe and sit back and enjoy the show.
How many times do I need to tell you stop wearing the same clothes as me? Anyway, welcome back and thank you for joining us. This week we're going to recap. It's quite a thrilling game actually between Scotland and South Africa. So let's just start by saying it was a great game of rugby to watch. It's really hard to say this about a loss.
Yeah, it's hard to say about a loss, but this is something we've gotten used to being Scotland fans. And I guess this is the same thing that we just keep going back to. It's the plucky loser mentality. Look, the absolute facts of the matter are that was a South Africa B team. It was. Like, there's no ifs or buts about it.
Yeah.
It was. There was, I think I saw a stat somewhere, there was 10 players with under 10 caps and there was another 3 with under 20 caps. So it was a very inexperienced South Africa team. Mm-hmm. But I think it just shows the levels to this game that South Africa, as a nation, are on a whole different level. If you think that was a B team, South Africa comfortably beat us. And we never took the lead.
We gave them a fright.
We did give them a fright.
Yeah.
And, Gregor Townsend said in his post-match speech that he thought at 70 minutes we were going to go on and win the game, which we could have done, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't fault the effort. I think for me, it just shows the gulf between Scotland and the number one team in the world. But I also think South Africa ahead of everyone actually right now, and the only team that could compete with them would be maybe France. It was probably
New Zealand as well.
New Zealand as well.
Are looking pretty sharp.
I think we'd done the best effort we could have. That was pretty much the strongest team we could have selected, and we did a good display of ourselves. But ultimately, we just weren't clinical enough at times, and that costs. And it was the best chance we were going to get away from them.
100%. And when you got players like Venter who play for Edinburgh, and you watch him, you're like, he's a solid club player.
Yeah.
But when he goes and what the fuck happens when they put on that green jersey?
And I was listening to Jim Hamilton talk about this, and he was saying the size of man. He goes on about this all the time. The size of man, size of man. But when you look at the scrum weight, this might be a bit controversial and a bit left field, but when you look at the scrum weight, we're the same. Yeah. We're the same scrum weight, right? You look at these South Africa boys when they play for their clubs. Like the Sharks are a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
They're not anywhere near the level they are.
No.
But see when they're under Rassie and they put that green and gold jersey on, there's like this desperation and this fire that is unleashed between them.
They play, I think, I like the term that basketball or Americans use, they got hustle.
Yeah.
They hustle for everything.
And it was their scramble defence. But, mate, you look at Colby, not a big player, but see when he's playing for South Africa, he is mauling folk. And he's absolutely solid.
Aye. I think that's probably the biggest thing that Rassie instills is that kind of that determination, that dogged heart. Aye, the fight. They've got.
And I don't think the size of men. They are big guys. Like, we're not getting away from it. But we have big fucking players as well. So it's like, but it's actually the dog in them, the aggression that they show, and when they put that jersey on, they're just a different player.
I would say that, and we definitely showed a lot of that as well. You know, like some of the tries that we scored, like our second try, Sione's offload. Was just he played so well. That's the best game he's played, and that probably since last Six Nations.
He's played really well this tour actually, and I think you're right. We played, mate. We almost figured out a way to get around the South Africa.
Yeah.
We weren't going out wide as much. We were trying to keep it tight.
Yeah.
And the amount of success we got from those little short balls round the ruck was mental.
I just can't shift the thought that. And I said this to you during the game, if you were given a blank team sheet and you had to select one player for this to base your team around, you're choosing Pierce Death Point. He is insane. He might be
ridiculous.
I was just watching him, he was just like a heat-seeking missile for everything going on in the pitch. He is an enormous human being and amazing at rugby.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
And he hits
what
like
he does.
Fucking train.
A freight train, man. And he was their standout player for me. As long as he's on that pitch, like the engine room is working around him, and it makes the job easier for. We were talking about number 9,
Papier.
Papier. Literally, you were like, oh, this Papier, he's not even all that, and then he just makes that fuck you break, and it's like
he's like the 4th choice scrum half.
And then the step, and you look at it and you're like, the defensive positioning, like surely a wee bit off for that.
Yeah, but he caught Xander, and then Kyle Rowe had a lot so much to do.
Yeah,
but I think you're right with Peter Steff. He leads by example. Because when you see Papier, he's playing with Peter Steff.
Yeah.
He's going to raise his level watching what the effort that Peter Steff de Toit's bringing.
It's stupid things that Peter Steff de Toit brings. So if he's competing at a breakdown, Scotland have to put an extra player essentially into that breakdown so that he's not getting a turnover.
So you're short.
So because he's just that good a player, so then your attacks maybe not running.
He's carrying.
He's carrying.
One thing we have to mention though is that red card.
Yeah.
That wasn't a red card.
Yeah.
So Dixon. And it's crazy because we sat and watched all the games, right? Canoni for All Blacks v Italy, pretty much a like-for-like thing, headbutting the ruck.
I wouldn't even say it was as bad.
And then that Dixon does it to Scotty Cummins, who had a brilliant game, by the way.
He did have a good game.
It's that headbutt Scotty Cummins, and it's a yellow card. And I'm sitting there like, there was no other intention from him than to fucking headbutt Scotty Cummins in the face. What else could he have done?
So the intent there is a headbutt, so therefore there's zero mitigation. So then surely it's a red card.
At least a 20-minute red card. So I
would have been happy with 20-minute red. And then that changes the game.
Yeah.
Completely changes the game.
But then when they were down to 14 men, we didn't capitalise. No. And that's a big problem there, is that we were chasing the game at all times. And see, when you're playing South Africa, you have to get 10, 15 points ahead and have them chasing. Not if you're chasing them, you're never going to win that game. And we put pressure on them, but we're pressuring them when we're tied with them, not when we're ahead.
There is something that I noticed as well, is the attack seemed, like you said, it seemed like we weren't going outside. And I'm going to say something, Finn had an incredible game, but I'm wondering if he had an amazing game because there wasn't as much pressure on him. There was other players playing the ball. Sione had a great game. Ben White had a great game. There was players playing that maybe were taking the pressure. Some of the forwards had a great game.
Yeah.
You look at that try from Scott Cummins and Josh Bayliss.
Brilliant.
That might be, and I'm going to make a statement here, that might be the best forward work try in Scottish history.
I think so.
That was
the break by Cummins.
Tremendous.
The Bayliss with the support line, the pass through was amazing.
It was tremendous.
And I think Scott Cummins, he's another player that has stepped up massive. And see him going on that Lions tour.
Yeah.
His confidence has went through the roof.
From,
and he's really stepped up. It's just, it comes back to that same frustrations though, that this was a South Africa team that when you looked at the team sheet, we had everything going for us.
We weren't pushing them at all until we were behind, and it's like you have a think about it. You're like, were we actually ever in contention whether to win that game? The final scoreline doesn't reflect the game to me.
But we missed chances.
Yeah, we did.
So Dempsey's drop ball, that when he got that offload, if he caught that, he could have gone through. Ashman was held up. Steno dropping the ball.
I actually think that was a 6-on-2 overlap Tom Jordan had. Why
when he's
work
kicked
it out?
it?
Yeah, and he's kicked it. And I'm sorry, I personally think that's the wrong decision. If you've got an advantage, take the kick, fine. Because Steno's probably catching that 8 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times. You know, the percentage is Steno's catching that. But if you've got a 6-on-2 overlap, work the ball out wide and see what happens. How many tries have you seen the last couple of weeks through the wide channel and the inside player?
A lot.
Getting the ball. It's actually insane.
It's
Tom
crazy.
Jordan literally got a hat-trick for New Zealand doing that same way, you know.
And but these were the little things that were going against us in that game, and normally, and we were quite, other games were quite clinical. Against Argentina, we were clinical, and it just looked like against South Africa, we missed a few chances, and you cannot do that against them. What I would say though, there was positives.
There is
Scotland
positives.
look really well drilled.
Physically as well.
But they looked physical, but they just look like they know what they're doing.
Well coached,
They're really well coached. And Scotland, something I would say, gone are the days when Scotland get pumped. You know, we've just went to one of the hardest games there, other than Ireland.
I was going to say Ireland's the one.
But other teams in the world, we just went relatively close to South Africa. Granted, we've said it multiple times, a B team, but we still ran them close in some respects of the game. So there is improvement there. I think there is just the mentality aspect is probably just kind of there still, and the frustration of that plucky loser. And I'm sick of hearing it from the boys.
I agree. I can't even, honestly, I'm going to say something. I didn't even listen to the post-match interviews properly because I'm sick of hearing the same thing.
You know exactly.
I think that, honestly, what it is, South Africa are just better. They've got better players across the board. And even though it was a B team, they're still just a better team.
It might be different if it's that team at Murrayfield, playing as at Murrayfield, but Rassie's never going to pick a team like that to come to Murrayfield. Maybe a different result, but mate, you look at the players they were missing.
Aye.
Sia, Malcolm Marks, Colby, Addison, Etzebeth.
The list is massive.
Mozart, but absolute fucking monsters they're missing. And so it was a completely changed team that they had. And I think we can show signs of improvement, but I think if we're ever going to really kick on as a nation with rugby and take a win to really propel us forward, it's wins like that.
We could probably look ahead to this weekend then coming against Fiji, and what a disappointment Fiji was. We left. We were watching them together, had a few beers, and we ended up just going out and sitting outside because it was diabolical.
You seen the media, the Fiji director, chief executive, was coming out and saying they're poor, and it's like, man, don't do that to Fijians. No, and I have a bit of a skin in the game with Fijians, right? There's only two professions in the world that know Fijians very well, and it's professional rugby players and people in the army. And I spent a lot of time when I was in the army with Fijians, and they are genuinely the most beautiful people on the planet. Yeah. But don't fuck them off.
Because they don't be so stubborn.
They don't give a fuck.
Just switch off,
and they won't care. But what I would say, mate, I think they'll be hurting massively after that game.
That was tough.
So Scotland this week have got a bit of a task on their hand, and we're going to do a massively changed squad. Finn will be gone. I think it will go back. Fergus Burke will start at 10. There's no way they'll
probably coming in. I
think if they've tried to put Adam Hastings anywhere near teammate to have flashbacks again of his last injury, but I think it will be a massively rotated team. I'd love to see Dobie starting at 9.
Yeah,
it might.
George Horn, I think George Horn coming in at 9.
But when you keep him on the bench, I can see a big, hugely changed team.
It's going to be a massively changed team, but it's going to be a big task, like you said, they're hurting, but honestly, if they played anything like that, even a 10%, 20% improvement, we're still going to pump them because that was absolutely abysmal.
I can see... Don't get, as fans, right, don't get thinking you're going there and you're going to see ticky-tacky rugby, because you might, but the way to beat this Fijian team is in the set piece. Yep. They look diabolical.
You've got to play rugby.
You've got to kick the rugby, you've got to put it in the air, you've got to do contestables, kick to your line out, maul, scrum. That is how we're going to win this game, with probably a bit of Scottish flair put in, but looks like it's going to be a nice day in Edinburgh. Beers in the sun. And I think we'll have a pretty fun display put on for us for a Fijian home game against Scotland at Murrayfield, which is a fucking wild thing to say.
We'll not even get into that again, but give us a shout if you see us. Say hello. We'll be there anyway.
Let us know your thoughts on it. We'll do another pod next week about the Fiji game. And thank you for watching. And remember to like and subscribe.
It would really help the channel. All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good week.